Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into something really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Post Malone's 2025 tour. I think
Okay.
a lot of people are really excited about this, so let's get into it.
Sounds good. Yeah, he's doing the big ass stadium tour in 2025.
Wow, big ass stadium tour. That sounds
Mm.
pretty big.
Yeah, it is actually. He's going to be playing like huge stadiums all across North America from April to July.
Also, a whole big stadium
Oh,
tour.
pretty much. I think this is like a big step up for his career, you
Yeah,
know?
definitely. I mean, stadiums, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the timing of this tour is really interesting too.
What do you mean?
Well, his new album, F1 Trillion, just came out, like literally just dropped, and it's already #1 on Billboard.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard about that album. It has a crazy list of features on it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. He's got Tim McGraw, Hank Williams Jr., Morgan Wallen, Blake Shelton.
Even Dolly Parton.
Yeah, Dolly Parton's on there too. It's like a who's who of country music.
It's like he got the whole country music Hall of Fame to be on this album.
Yeah. Right. It's definitely not your typical Post Malone album.
Yeah, but I think that's what's cool about him. He's not afraid to try new things and mix genres.
Exactly. And I think that's why he appeals to such a wide audience, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. So who are the opening acts for this tour?
It's Jelly Roll and Sierra Ferrell.
Oh, cool. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I have. Jelly Roll is kind of like a southern rapper, and Sierra Ferrell is more like folk and Americana.
Sounds like a pretty diverse lineup.
Yeah, it is. And I think it really complements Post Malone's style, you know?
Right, so it's not just like a one genre kind of concert.
Yeah.
You could actually discover your next favorite artist there.
Exactly. And speaking of the concert experience, can you imagine seeing Post Malone at Wrigley Field?
Oh, wow, yeah. Or AT&T Stadium in Dallas.
Those are like iconic venues.
Yeah, those are like legendary places to see a show.
Right. And I think the venue itself becomes part of the experience.
Totally. So it looks like he's playing a lot of huge stadiums.
Yeah, but here's something interesting. Right before the stadium tour kicks off, he's actually doing a festival appearance.
Oh, really? What festival is that?
It's called the Wild Horses Music Festival in San Diego, and it's in December 2024.
That's cool. So he's doing a festival before the big stadium tour.
Yeah, and the lineup for that festival is pretty interesting, too. He's playing with Paul Coffin and Zach Top.
Wow. Okay, so if you're a fan of Post Malone, you might want to check out that festival too.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, this isn't his first time touring either. He's been pretty consistently on the road.
Yeah, I remember he did the If Y'all Weren't Here, I'd Be Crying tour just this year.
Yeah, and before that, he had the 12 Carat tour in 2022.
So he's been keeping busy.
Yeah, it seems like he has a really dedicated fan base, and this new tour is just going to build on that momentum, you know?
For sure. So we've got a #1 album, a massive stadium tour, a cool lineup of opening acts, and a history of successful tours.
Yeah, it's all coming together.
This is definitely shaping up to be a big deal for Post Malone.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, how did he get to this point? What were like the key moments in his career that led to this level of success?
Well, I think to understand his success, you got to go back to like 2015, you know?
Oh, yeah, 2015.
Yeah, like White Iverson.
White Iverson. Oh, yeah, that song was huge.
That's the one that like put him on the map, right?
Yeah. I remember that song was everywhere, and I was like, who is this guy? It felt
Yeah.
like he just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it kind of did. I mean, the song went viral, like millions of streams.
And it was such a unique sound, too, like a mix of hip-hop, R&D pop, all in one song.
Yeah, it was really catchy, and I think that's been a hallmark of his music ever since like blending genres and creating something new.
And he just kept building on that momentum with each album, Stoney, Beer Bongs and Bentleys, Hollywood's Bleeding.
Exactly. Each album was like bigger than the last, and you could hear him experimenting with different sounds and collaborating with different artists.
Yeah, you can definitely see his evolution as an artist. And speaking of collaborations, you mentioned the country stars on F1 Trillion, but he's collaborated with like everyone.
I know, it's crazy. Justin Bieber, Ozzy Osbourne, The Weeknd.
It's like a who's who of music.
And they're not just random pairings either. I feel like each collaboration is like a deliberate choice that adds something special to his music.
Absolutely. I think it shows his artistic vision. He's not afraid to step outside of his comfort zone and work with people from all different genres.
Yeah, it's really cool. So we've talked about his music, his style, his collaborations. But what about Post Malone, the person? What do you think it is about him that connects with so many people?
That's a good question. I think there's just like a sense of authenticity with him.
Like he's just being himself.
Yeah, exactly. He's not putting on an act. He's open about his struggles. He's not afraid to be vulnerable in his music.
Yeah. And there's like a sense of humor there too. He doesn't take himself too seriously.
Right, and I think people relate to that.
It's like he's a huge star, but he's also just a regular guy who loves making music and having fun.
And that translates to his live performances too, you know?
Yeah, I've heard his shows are amazing.
They are. It's not just a concert. It's like a party, a celebration of music and life.
And I think that's what the big-ass stadium tour is all about. It's like a culmination of everything he's worked for.
It's like a statement, you know? He's arrived.
He's one of the biggest artists in the world, and he's still true to himself, still breaking down barriers, still bringing people together.
It's pretty inspiring.
It is. So with his ability to blend genres and connect with such a wide audience, do you think he represents the future of music?
Wow, that's a big question.
I know, it's a tough one. What do you think?
Well, the music industry is changing so much these days with streaming and everything.
Yeah, it's a whole different world.
And I think artists like Post Malone who can adapt and evolve are the ones who are going to thrive.
It's like he predicted the future of music or something.
Hmm.
He wasn't afraid to break the rules, and now he's built this incredible career on his own terms.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes his story so inspiring. He's a reminder that you don't have to fit into a box.
Yeah, you can be yourself, explore different sounds, collaborate with whoever you want, and create something truly unique.
And that's a powerful message.
It really is. And it's not just about music, it's about life in general. Be yourself, challenge the status quo, and have fun along the way.
And maybe you'll even see Post Malone on his big-ass stadium tour one day.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So as we wrap up here, what are some key takeaways for our listeners about Post Malone?
Yeah, like what makes him so interesting in music today?
Well, one thing that's really striking is just how much he's not afraid to experiment, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, look at how he's bringing in those country vibes on F1 Trillion.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It would have been so easy for him to just stick with what already worked, but he's always trying to push boundaries.
It's like he doesn't even see genre as a rule. It's more like a suggestion.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And it works because his music still feels authentically him.
Right. It's not like he's trying to be like something he's not, just to fit in.
And I think that's what resonates with so many people. They see that realness.
Yeah, they see that he's being genuine and vulnerable in his music.
Exactly. It's refreshing.
And the collaborations, too, they really highlight that even more.
Yeah. How so?
Well, it's not just about getting big names on his tracks. It's about choosing artists who bring something unique to the mix.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's like he's intentionally expanding his sound with each collab.
Like, think about that Ozzy Osbourne track. Take what you want.
Oh, yeah.
You have this legendary metal vocalist alongside Post Malone's signature style. It's unexpected, but it just works.
Totally. And it shows how he can bridge different genres and bring together audiences who might not normally listen to the same music.
So he's breaking down musical barriers, basically.
Yeah, and it's not even just about the music itself. It's about the feeling, the energy, you know.
It's about the shared experience.
Yeah, it's something special.
So we've got this artist who's fearless, creative, authentic, and always evolving. What does that say about where Post Malone stands in the music world, especially with this huge stadium tour coming out?
I think it shows he's become a real force in music.
Yeah, like a cultural force.
Exactly. It's not just about being popular. It's about having influence.
And that's a pretty powerful thing.
Absolutely. And it makes you excited to see what he does next.
Thanks for listening to Just Announced. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss an episode. New episodes weekly. Follow us for updates and more. Join the conversation in the comments below.
That's it for today's deep dive into the world of Post Malone. Until next time.